Okay, then for part 2, it's just going to be the 8th term. That means you sub in n equals to 8. Okay, so 2 times 8 plus 5 equals to 21. Very good. Question part 3. Find the lowest common multiple of the 5th and 8th term. So recap what you learned in like term 1 of this year. We basically use the ladder method. Both can be divided by 3. Then you get 5 and 7. Alright, 5 can be divided by 5. 7 cannot be divided. So divide by 7. Do 1, 2, you get 1, 1. And LCM will be 3 times 5 times 7, which is 105. Okay. Once again, you can pause the video and do question 3 and 4 first, and then come back and check your answers. Okay, question 3. This question also gives you the nth term of a sequence. It is 2n squared plus 1. So they want you to find the first 4 terms, right? Which means they want you to find T1, T2, T3, T4, and yeah, until T4. So if Tn equals to 2n squared plus 1, 2n squared plus 1, T1 will be 2 times 1 squared plus 1, which is just 3. Okay, then T2 will be 2 times 2 squared plus 1, which is 9. And then T3 will be 2 times 3 squared plus 1, which is 19. And then T4 will be 2 times 4 squared plus 1, which is 33. Okay, so the first 4 terms are 3, 9, 19, and 33. Okay, part B. First 4 terms of another sequence are 1, 7, 13, 1, 7, 17, and 31. Okay, so basically the first sequence in A, right? The first sequence that we found out, shall not use equals, was 3, 9, 19, and 33. The second sequence given in the question is 1, 7, 17, 31. Now, if you compare the first sequence with the second sequence, what do you observe? You can see immediately, oh, 3 minus 2 will give me 1. And then, oh, 9 minus 2 will give me 7. Then, 19 minus 2 will give me 17. And 33 minus 2 will give me 31. So, I can immediately come up with the sequence for the nth term for the second sequence. So basically it will be the nth term of the first sequence, which is 2n squared plus 1. The whole thing you minus away 2. You will get the nth term for the second sequence. So nth term for second sequence is 2n squared minus 1. Can you see? For example, when n is 2, you sub in n is 2, you get 2 times 2 squared, which is 8. 8 minus 1 is 7. Correct, right? The second term is 7. What about when n is 4? 2 times 4 squared is 32. You minus 1, you get 31, which is the fourth term. Okay? So, this kind of questions, right, where they already give you the nth term and they ask you to derive the nth term for the second sequence, you can do it very simply. Okay? And question B part 2, hence find the 388th term. Hence means you must use the answer from the previous part. So the 388th term means you take 2 times 388, you square it, you minus 1, you will get 301087. That's a big number. Okay? But it's easy with the formula. That's exactly why we find the nth term. Okay, question 4. If you haven't done it, pause first, then come back to the video. Okay, question 4, they say consider the sequence 9, 16, 25, 36, 49, etc. Okay, let's see if we can find a pattern. We realize that 9 plus 7 will give us 16, but 16 plus 9 will give us 25, 25 plus 11 will give us 36, 36 plus 13 will give us 49. So there's no common difference, right? But anyway, for part 1, they only want us to find the next two terms of the sequence. So the next two terms will be plus 15 and that number plus 17, right? Which means the next two will be 64 and 81. Okay? Now this is one method where you have a plus 7, plus 9, plus 11 and so on. Another method is if people can immediately observe that all these are actually square numbers. Can you see that? 9, 16, 25, 36 and 49, all these are perfect squares. How did I get 9? It is 3 square. How did I get 16? It's 4 square. 25 is 5 square. 36 is 6 square. 49 is 7 square. So my next two terms should be 8 square and 9 square, which is how I get 64 and 81, right? So whether you do the first method or the second method, you should still get 64 and 81. But actually the second method is better because it helps us find the nth term very easily. Okay, so if you can see that this is T1, T2, T3, T4, T5, T6, T7, right? What's the relationship between the number here and the number here, the number here, number here, number here, and number here? Do you see any relationship? Yes. The relationship is that 1 plus 2 will give you 3, and then 3 square will give you 9. Same thing, 2 plus 2 will give you 4, 4 square will give you the 16. 3 plus 2 will give you 5, 5 square is 25. Okay, so for the nth term, right, if I want to find the nth term, it is just the n itself, I have to plus 2, and then I square it. Correct? For example, when t is 5, when n is 5, okay, t5 will be 5 plus 2, which is 7, then I square it to get the 49. Okay, so very easily I can get n plus 2 whole thing square. This is my nth term. They can test you for this kind of nth term, which is this is not a common difference kind of question, right? But they can still ask you for the nth term because it is pretty straightforward to see that this is a square number. Okay, so by basic pattern recognition, we can find the nth term. And for the 25th term, very easy. We sub in n to be 25. So 25 plus 2 whole thing square is 27 square, right? You find out what's 27 square is 729. Okay. Alright. Homework for today will be exercise 7a in your textbook. Okay, set 1 textbook, page 186. Question, okay, 2 of the questions are repeated, so I don't want you to do question 2. I don't want you to do question 10. But please do question 4, 5, 6, 9, and 11. Question 12 is optional. If you want to do it, you can do it. Okay? So please complete this and upload your answer on our Google Classroom as usual. I'll see you in my next video. Bye!